The Final Feast teaser trailer has absolutely blown my mind. With so much to take in and so many different characters to observe and theorize over, Fontaine is looking to be absolutely amazing. With one character in particular getting revealed in the trailer to be the key focus in today's video. Hello everyone, I am Sakai Samurai, your guide in the vast world of VOD, and today we are continuing our Fontaine Prep series, with the spotlight shining into the deep waters of Fontaine to shine upon Freminet, the renowned diver of the court of Fontaine, and the younger brother of the renowned magic duo, Lyney and Lynette. And yes, I said brother. The eyes and the lack of pants caught me off guard. Fontaine is the capital of Hydro, where its tremendous amounts of elemental strength can be flawlessly displayed by its vast bodies of water surrounding the nation. And while the powerful waves and scenic viewpoints are indeed beautiful, most people don't get the opportunity to experience what it's truly like underneath the ocean's waves. Which brings us to Freminet, our latest revealed cryo character, who can be seen drifting down deep into the waters of Fontaine in the opening of the trailer. Freminet is a distinguished diver of the court of Fontaine, and while at first that may not seem too special, it's also worth to keep in mind the very dangerous conditions of diving in the first place, but then also take on the large amount of added risks for swimming in this region as well, as we can see obstacles such as landmines floating around in the water in the first reveal trailer, as well as we can also see that there are numerous aggressive sea creatures that also live in the nation's lakes. It's often debated upon online in different forums and threads over whether or not that hydro is safe to drink in the first place, being that it is water in its purest form and that it is not indeed wise to drink large amounts of it. And with some of the small references that we know so far about Fontaine, we do know that the water here seems to be different than typical drinking water, which could possibly hint that maybe there's some sort of trace of hydro energy that is flowing in these lakes, as well as the fact that there was once oceanids that reside in these lakes as well, which are creatures that are entirely formed out of hydro energy. However though, take a lot of that as just theories, as we truly still don't understand just yet how the water is. But back on track, Freminet is known for his devout professionalism, and to take the majestic ocean very seriously, as well as having an astonishing amount of knowledge on marine life and how to safely operate underwater. All these character traits can craft an excellent diver, and even a very confident leader. Except there's just one slight problem to all this in his character. He is a solid lone wolf through and through, meaning that he only works alone and prefers to keep it that way, avoiding taking on commissions from other people and entirely avoids group work altogether the best that he can. His personality itself is entirely opposite from his siblings, with Lyney and Lynette being world-renowned magic artists, often working in massive sold-out shows with loud roaring crowds, clapping and cheering as the show goes on. With the sheer thought of their jobs is enough to make Freminet sick to his stomach. Instead, he tries his very best to keep away from the spotlight, with the immense pressure of having so many people stare at him, and the comments people would make as they watch, all judging him. All of this combined is enough pressure to make the poor soul just extremely uncomfortable, even struggling to breathe from all the stress. Which is why Freminet prefers to just get away from everything, spending most of his time drifting in the reaches of the ocean, where no one can reach him or bother him, with only his thoughts and the serenity of the ocean surrounding him. Now that we've went over a good bit of his lore, let's take a moment to assess this character and let's craft some theories. Feel free to also join in with me down in the comments as well, as I would love for you guys to chime in with me. It's not hard to tell that Freminet is definitely a different sort of person than we often see in Genshin Impact. He is described as always keeping a straight look on his face, very rarely ever smiling, which can be observed from a conversation that Lyney and Lynette had after a show rehearsal. All this, by the way, can be found in an article that was given us by Mihoyo, which I'll have a link down below if you want to see it for yourself. During the conversation, Lyney would tell his sister that he was overjoyed with seeing his brother almost smile during the show, noting that he saw Freminet crack just a tiny smile on the edge of his lips while watching a bird fly out of his brother's hat, leaving us to wonder just how long it has been since he had even smiled in front of Lyney. or if he had ever even seen him do it in the first place. I don't think that Freminet is depressed or anything like that, but more that he may possibly just have a lot of social anxieties that intervene with him being a much more social person. It is also noted that he's known to have a very solid attention span, which is lightly touched on in the article that was given to us. It might not be too far of a stretch that he could actually be somewhere on the spectrum of having a form of autism. With its isolationist personality, difficulty expressing emotions, and with his sheer passion with diving being possibly so big that it is pretty much all he ever thinks about. All of these are key signs that could show to being somewhere on the spectrum. Honestly, I think the idea is immensely cool, and I can already predict that there's going to be a massive amount of fans making plenty of headcanon on what's really going on inside of his head. But we won't really get a better glimpse until we finally get to meet him in patch 4.0. And so far everyone, that is what we know about Freminet. I hope I'm saying his name right. Guys, we are just a couple patches away from Fontaine. And with that, I'm always working on new lore content here on the channel. This is also my second episode of my Fontaine Prep series, with the first being on our new Hydro Archon. So if you feel up to learning about our new God of Justice, feel free to click the link in the corner of the video, or check the link down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on the character down in the comments. And if you liked the video, give me a like. If you want to see even more from me, click the subscribe button, as my next video is going to be a lore dive where we talk all about Klee's new dress. Anyways everyone, thank you for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.